I can't take the WNBA serious anymore. They hate their only cash cow in Caitlin Clark. This is the only league on earth where the players have dated each other. Now they fined Caitlin Clark and Ryan Howard $30 apiece for just jawing at each other on the court.
The WNBA has once again revealed its double standards, this time fining Caitlin Clark for the supposed offense of defending herself in a heated moment with Atlanta Dream's Ryan Howard. In a league that says it empowers strong women, it seems that strength is only acceptable under certain circumstances, ones that shift depending on the player involved. This episode highlights the league's uneven discipline and disturbing tendency to penalize passion while turning a blind eye to deeper issues in women's basketball.
You know, there'll be the big talked about moment, Ryan Howard, Caitlin Clark, jawing back and forth. But there's another example, right? Clark in that moment saying, I'm not scared of you. No, I'm not afraid. Then give her a sarcastic thump.
The tension boiled over during the Indiana Fever's rematch against the Atlanta Dream, with emotions flaring as both teams fought fiercely for dominance. Just 2 days earlier, the Fever had endured a tough loss to Atlanta, and Thursday night's showdown at State Farm Arena offered a shot at redemption. With 17,044 fans filling the arena, many paying top dollar to see Caitlin Clark in action, the atmosphere was electric and primed for high-stakes drama.
What was that about, man? She was saying, don't do that again. But I'm trying to figure out why she gets so mad. I guess because of the push right there. Kind of like a get off me a little bit. But she's holding it right there. Look at the hand checking, right? We got the hand checking going on the hip. Putting it on the chest. How you hand checking? You can't hand check. This isn't the 80s. What are we doing? Hold on, man. She's hand checking right here. Then Caitlin trying to get by, right? But her hand's still there.
What unfolded was both a showcase of elite basketball and a telling snapshot of the WNBA's current political landscape. In Indiana's hard-fought 81-76 win, Caitlin Clark squared off in a tense moment with Atlanta's Ryan Howard. It was a flashpoint that would shape not only the game, but also the league's reaction to competitive intensity. The confrontation captured exactly what fans crave from top-tier athletes in a high-stakes matchup: grit, passion, and the raw emotion that makes basketball so thrilling to watch.
I just don't know what it is about giving Caitlin Clark foul calls that has the referees so averse, but calling more on her. And basketball is so mental. Like, when you get into someone's head, it can really mess the rest of their game up. It can mess the momentum up.
Howard, eager to assert control and possibly unsettle the league's most high-profile player, initiated contact that pushed past the usual limits of basketball physicality. But rather than retreat or look to the officials for help, Clark held her ground with the trademark toughness that's defined her career. In a moment that should have been praised as a display of elite competitiveness, Clark stared Howard down and delivered a line that captured her fearless spirit perfectly. "I'm not scared of you."
And in case you're wondering what Caitlin Clark said just there was, "I'm not scared of you." She's going to have to wear a hard hat this season. I mean, seriously. The league is going to try to take her out in every game.
The crowd roared in response to this raw display of competitive spirit, exactly the kind of energy that makes professional sports must-watch entertainment. This was basketball in its purest form. Two top-tier athletes pushing each other to the edge, neither backing down. It was the kind of moment that builds iconic rivalries and ignites fan passion. But in today's WNBA, standing your ground apparently comes with a cost. What followed exposed everything flawed about the league's current stance on discipline and player management. Instead of applauding Clark's intensity or acknowledging the moment as a natural part of the game, the WNBA chose to penalize her reaction to Howard's aggression. The $30 fine may be minor financially, but the message it sends is far from small. This decision raises serious questions about what the WNBA truly expects from its players. The league brands itself as a platform for strong, fearless women who won't be pushed around. Its marketing celebrates empowerment, grit, and elite-level toughness. But when one of its biggest stars demonstrates exactly that, in real time, the league responds with a fine and a quiet rebuke.
I did really enjoy seeing the return of Trash Talk Caitlin Clark. because sometimes people forget, like, it's a fun little extra add-on of her game. She and Ryan Howard got into it a bit early, where Ryan Howard was like, "You're in Atlanta," and Caitlin was like,
The timing of this punishment speaks volumes. All season long, Caitlin Clark has faced relentless physicality from opponents more focused on testing her toughness than playing clean basketball. From Angel Reese's ongoing social media jabs to the repeated hard fouls and tense encounters that have become routine for Clark, she has consistently responded with professionalism and restraint. Yet the moment she finally asserts herself, choosing words over retaliation, the league decides she's crossed some arbitrary line. This kind of selective enforcement sets a troubling precedent for how the WNBA treats competitive fire. The league seems content to let months of social media sniping, passive-aggressive comments, and orchestrated drama play out unchecked. Players are free to throw shade, post cryptic digs, and subtly chip away at each other's reputations with no pushback. But when one player delivers a direct, honest statement in the middle of a high-intensity game, that's what earns a fine.
Now fans are petitioning for the All-Star game to not be held in Indiana because it's clearly not safe. There's a petition for Dave Portnoy to never be able to attend WNBA games. There is a petition for Caitlin Clark to be arrested. I'm not joking when I say this. Arrested. This is something that has also gone viral on social media. And I'm only bringing this up because the WNBA pays attention to what's going on social media. So if they're paying attention to it, I'm following what the league is saying. Like what the precedents that the league is setting, I'm following that because I'm covering the league. If they're going to pay attention to viral things on social media, I guess we have to.
The most concerning part of this situation isn't the fine itself. It's what the fine symbolizes in the larger picture of WNBA discipline. The league has shown a clear pattern of inconsistent enforcement, where the consequences seem more influenced by which players are involved than by the nature of the incidents. This double standard creates a two-tiered system that erodes trust and sends mixed signals about what kind of behavior is actually acceptable. Take, for example, the stark difference in how the league responded to Clark's straightforward in-game exchange with Howard compared to its handling of other ongoing issues. Angel Reese has spent months waging what amounts to a sustained campaign against Clark, using social media to rehash old plays and stir up drama. Despite this being a persistent distraction, there's been no fine, no warning, and seemingly no concern from league leadership about how this behavior reflects on the WNBA. The message is loud and clear. Passive aggression, online feuds, and performative controversy are fair game. But speaking directly and competitively on the court is somehow beyond the pale. This upside-down disciplinary approach favors false harmony over real competitive edge, fostering a climate where players are subtly pushed to air grievances online instead of resolving them face-to-face, like true professionals.
The Indiana Fever faced off against the Chicago Sky in a blowout victory.
And going in on the Chicago Sky.
They're not going to be pushed around anymore. Even in the midst of all the talk yesterday, you have a Sophie Cunningham, you have a Natasha Howard, and you have a DeWanna Bonner. There's a level of credibility, there's a level of toughness.
Caitlin Clark, in the post-game interview, she made it a point to say, this is not, please don't blow this out of proportion.
The entire WNBA seemed to freeze in time this weekend. The Indiana Fever had just secured a defining victory, but the real fireworks came when DeWanna Bonner grabbed the figurative mic and set social media ablaze, putting Angel Reese and the Chicago Sky firmly in their place.
She currently funked herself with Charlotte Webb after she shared a post last night of pretty much somebody congratulating her and going in on the Chicago Sky.
Right in the heart of the storm, Angel Reese was catching strays and sharp glances, while Caitlin Clark soaked it all in with that trademark cool. Bonner wasn't holding back. She brought the sass, stirred the tea, and spilled it across the court with the kind of razor-sharp precision only a seasoned vet with receipts could pull off.
Angel Reese, part 32, let's get it! This ain't LeBron, this is butter pecan! Bang! They want to put her at point forward this season. They want her making plays, because she a playmaker! Bang! That Angel Reese hit a buzzer beater, you gotta check this out! 3, 2, 1, bang! Who cares cares? They lost by 35 points. At least she got her 17 rebounds. Hey, Ma, you got a receipt for this Barbie? I think this one's broken. Send it back.
What began as a standard post-game presser quickly spiraled into a full-blown roast session. And no, the Fever's win wasn't the grand finale, it was just the trailer. The real main event? Bonner calling out Reese and the Sky live and unfiltered. This wasn't just basketball, it was reality TV with a shot clock. And trust, the reruns are going to slap differently.
They make it a hate thing. Like, they make it a hate train. It's like, no. I'm telling you, if I was the coach or the owner, we forfeit in every game. Either we forfeit or Angel will not be in attendance.
Angel Reese fans is calling race, like they're sparking a race war on Twitter right now, and it's starting to get national attention. They're attacking white fans, black fans.
From the opening whistle, the energy in the arena was electric. The air crackled with anticipation, and the Fever stormed out like they were done listening to the doubters. Fast, fierce, and flawlessly precise.
For good position.
Clark pulls, deep one, left wing. Caitlin Clark is her.
Natasha Howard able to lay it in to Boston. Her jumper is good.
I think we have a group that's much like the Pacers. We've got a lot of great balance.
Still on the bounce. 3 seconds to go in the half. Caitlin, left wing, off balance, three. Got it! Caitlin connects ahead of the halftime buzzer. She is 1 of 1.
Every touch of the ball sent a message. And Caitlin Clark? She didn't just run the offense, she orchestrated a masterpiece. But the real plot twist? Indiana didn't just keep pace with the Sky, they controlled the narrative from start to finish. And DeWanna Bonner? She played like this game had been circled, starred, and marked with revenge in bold, all caps.
DeWanna Bonner, man, Indiana Fever on, became the third all-time WNBA leading scorer in history.
Caitlin Clark looks like she's going to be the MVP of the league. Angel Reese made a fool out of herself, and we won by 100, and I won. So we're back in the good mode, back in the winning. Yesterday was tough with the Celtics, but we're back, baby, and it all starts with who? CC, 22, Caitlin Clark.
Angel Reese came in with her signature swagger. Big talk, bold moves. But this time, she ran into a different kind of heat. No noise, no theatrics. Just ruthless, ice-cold execution. Indiana shut her down like a rumor past its prime. Yeah, she got her double-double, but it felt more like filler than headline. This night belonged to the Fever, and you could feel the power shift in real time. Bonner and Clark didn't just clock in, they took over. And with every step, they sent a clear message to Angel in the Sky. This isn't your house.
She had as much passion for basketball as she did for her hate for Caitlin Clark. Gonna get up, scream in her face. You know, you should be thanking her, because you would have missed another wide open layup. They say, but don't lie. Oh, she gonna cry. Wah, wah, burn. 35% from the field. Trash. She had 5 turnovers. Trash! There are living human beings that breathe, that enjoy this kind of basketball. To the psych ward you go! Burn! It's like driving by a car wreck. I can't help myself. I can't stop watching!
As the game went on, the spotlight didn't stay on Reese because she was dominating. It stayed because she was unraveling. That trademark confidence? It started to splinter. Every awkward drive, every missed chance chipped away at the shine. The fans saw it, her teammates felt it, and Bonner? She didn't just see the cracks, she thrived on them. She turned everyone into fuel.
Much like Donnie Carr, Angel Reese relies on the dramatics to generate attention, because just like Donnie, she can't maintain attention based on skill. And the attention-seeking behavior, it started immediately yesterday as Angel Reese and the Chicago Bravado decided that they were going to disrespect the country by refusing to come out for the national anthem. She immediately loses her temper. She could not believe Caitlin Clark stole her moment. Angel Reese gets off the ground very slowly, because everyone seems to be moving in slow motion in the WNBA.
The Angel Reese fan base is full of toxicity right now because they is extremely embarrassed that Angel Reese came to Indiana and laid a goose egg.
It stopped feeling like a game and started reading like a message board. The moment? Bonner ripping the ball from Reese like a pickpocket in Times Square. She glided in for the layup. No grin, no fist pump, just a stare that sliced through Reese like glass. Cold, clinical, legendary. Then came the post-game post, effortlessly flaunting her performance while lacing in a bit of digital shade for Reese and the crew. The timeline didn't just light up, it exploded.
Bonner, who knocks it away. Cookies, TV, open court, right side, and she lays it in.
Reese was left gathering the emotional fragments, no longer in control of the storyline. The spotlight had shifted off her box score and squarely onto Bonner's message. This wasn't just a win, it was a statement carved in bold. A veteran didn't just show up. She took the stage and marked her territory in permanent ink.
One more free throw for Bonner. It's in the air, and it's good. Joanna Bonner now third in WNBA history in scoring. 7,489 points and counting. Lord, and here's the ovation for Bonner.
Reese strutted into the arena like she was writing the script. But from the jump, it was clear. This was a pressure cooker. Every touch brought bodies. Every dribble triggered traps. The Indiana crowd, ruthless. Bonner, even worse. There was no space, no flow, just unrelenting personal feud-level intensity. It felt like the Fever had one mission, erase her from her own highlight reel. Bonner didn't just defend, she composed the entire shutdown. And Clark? She was the calm conductor, dialing up plays while the sky looked like they were stuck in a time warp. What read like a matchup on paper turned into a live clinic in dominance. Reese fought back, snatching boards, chasing loose balls, clawing for momentum like a contestant on a rigged game show. But something was off, and everyone felt it.
You know what? This is just like a breath of fresh air. I'm not kidding. I think it's been day 5, day 6. I don't even know what day it is, to be honest. But it's just everyone's in it for the right reason. Everyone's in it. You have great energy. You have great people. And at the end of the day, everyone's putting aside their agendas and doing what's best for the team. And let me tell you, it is refreshing, and everyone's excited to be here.
Remember when Angel Reese and Kennedy Carter thought they could push Caitlin Clark around without any backlash? When opponents took cheap shots and the refs stayed silent? That chapter just closed in spectacular fashion.
She needs an enforcer. She needs a brute that will wreck people if they wreck her.
Sophie Cunningham just walked into Fever training camp with a presence so bold, it's shaking up the entire WNBA. The veteran sharpshooter and Taekwondo black belt isn't simply adding depth to the roster, she's becoming the bodyguard for the league's most targeted rookie. In this video, we're diving into Sophie's fierce camp performance and what she had to say on the mic, and why she might be the Indiana Fever's newest secret weapon against cheap shots and hard fouls.
Sometimes you need one of those players on your team. You need one of those enforcers. Every good player, by the way. Every good player, every good team that is a super duper star. Most of the time have enforcer type players.
Remember when Caitlin Clark entered the WNBA as the most hyped prospect in league history? That electric buzz quickly gave way to something far more troubling. As the season progressed, a chilling trend began to surface, one that left both fans and analysts speechless. The stats speak louder than words. A staggering 17% of all flagrant fouls in the WNBA last year were committed against a single player, Caitlin Clark. Let that sink in. One rookie, surrounded by seasoned pros, somehow absorbed nearly 1/5 of the league's most dangerous hits. This wasn't random, it was deliberate.
So there's a hot topic going on right now. Caitlin Clark says she got cheap shotted against the sky. I mean, throughout the season, she's been getting beat up. Hard screens, elbows, knocked down.
Game after game, the pattern was too obvious to ignore. Opponents weren't just playing hard-nosed basketball. They were going out of their way to hit Clark with brutal screens, heavy contact, and actions that crossed the line from intense to outright reckless. What should have been a showcase of elite skill turned into a nightly trial by fire. The main culprits quickly stood out to anyone paying attention. Angel Reese emerged as Clark's most visible rival, mixing aggressive defense with non-stop trash talk aimed at rattling the rookie's focus. But the most blatant act came from Kennedy Carter, whose shoulder check on a fast break exploded across social media in seconds. These weren't just plays, they were messages.
Clark! Hammer!
What made it all even worse was the officiating. Time and again, the refs held their whistles on hits that would have drawn instant fouls for anyone else. Clark was left to fend for herself, absorbing contact with little to no consequence for the defenders. While trying to lead a young and inexperienced Fever squad, she also had to survive a physical gauntlet night after night. The lack of protection wasn't just frustrating, it was dangerous.
That's all I see. They try so long to get respect for women's basketball, and then they treat it like a junior high school girl's locker room. Junior high school girl antics on the court.
Through it all, Clark remained composed. Even as she endured a level of physicality that would have driven seasoned vets to call out refs or rivals, she never once used the media to vent or place blame. Instead, she kept her focus, battled through the contact, and carried herself with a poise well beyond her rookie year. But the impact was undeniable on her rhythm, her confidence, and her ability to play free. The Fever front office saw it all. Game after game, they watched their franchise centerpiece take hits, and they made a clear decision. This would not carry into her second season. Their answer wasn't just about upgrading talent, it was a strategic move to build a roster with one purpose in mind: protect Caitlin Clark.
Like, she needs an enforcer, and if it ain't gonna be me, Michelle Rappaport, like, where is Charlize Oakley? Doesn't her team have like a Zavaria McDaniels or a Rakisha Mahorn? She needs like a goon on her team, because when your star player that's bringing so much money, so much attention to the league, and it's a collective, it's a bunch of them, it's been brewing.
This wasn't just about stacking wins, it was a clear signal to the rest of the league. Anyone targeting Caitlin Clark would now have to deal with the consequences. The Fever weren't just assembling a roster, they were building a wall around their most prized player. But one question loomed large. Who would set the tone for this new no-nonsense attitude on the floor? The team needed a fierce blend of talent, toughness, and fearlessness. And they found it in a 6'1" force of nature, Taekwondo black belt, seasoned competitor, and someone who never backs down from a challenge.
Caitlin Clark was getting hit a lot. She was getting hit a lot early, and they needed their Charles Oakley. You've got that in Sophie Cunningham.
Enter Sophie Cunningham, a name already known across the league, but whose purpose in Indiana became crystal clear the moment she stepped up to the mic at training camp. Behind her impressive 37.8% career clip from beyond the arc lies something even more vital to the Fever: a fearless mindset and a statement that sent shockwaves through the WNBA.
I just think that's what they were doing in the offseason. They were trying to get winners, people who know how to compete, people who want to win, and put that together with experience, people who have championships. And so when you have that type of combination, and us kind of young bucks, I'm kind of a tweener, and then you have the vets, you know, you're just trying to be a sponge, you're trying to learn, you're trying to be good now, but at the end of the day, you're trying to be the best when it's preseason, right? And so that's why you have those vets, is so you can learn from them. They've been around the game for a really long time, and that's kind of the refreshing part about being on this team, is that everybody wants to learn, and so everyone's dialed in.
And that's exactly why you have veterans, so you can learn from them. They've seen it all, they've done it all. What's special about this team is that everyone's eager to grow, and you can feel that focus across the board. So when Sophie Cunningham stepped into her first Fever Media session, the room expected the usual sound bites: new beginnings, team chemistry, season goals. Instead, she dropped 6 words that shook the league. "I'm here to make sure nobody takes cheap shots at our players. That stops now."
I do think that everyone knows that we have something special here. I think a lot of teams have a lot of teams that are special, a lot of rosters that are special. But can you put it together? Can you put aside your agendas? Can you come into work every single day when you're tired, when you're sore, and still get something done and stack the days? And that's what we're doing. Today was tough. You know what I mean? Like, we've been going for a long time. They haven't been. This is not an easy training camp, I'll tell you that. But I think we're going to be better for it. And I think if you ask anyone, everyone kind of just feels that nice energy.
What makes her the ideal fit for this enforcer role isn't just her size or strength on the floor. It's her background, rooted in discipline and physical mastery, that directly fuels the way she plays the game. Over the course of her WNBA career, Cunningham has earned a reputation for never backing down, always meeting intensity with intensity. She's exactly the kind of player you want standing between your star and the chaos, an unwavering shield for a team ready to draw the line.
So I'm on year 7, and I did not believe people when they're like, "Hey, when you get old, you're gonna know." Boy, I think I'm starting to get old, and I hate saying that. But no, it's just we play fast, right? We're gonna be quick. We're a run and gun. We're a shooting team. But with that, you got to get your cardio up. With that, you have to play fast but play smart. And so there's a fine line between that, and we're all trying to get that. There's a lot of people here, a lot of different rotations, a lot of people that you haven't played with before. So you have to know where they want the ball, when they want it, their rhythm, their style of play. And so a lot of people are learning, but it's fun, right? Everyone's excited to be here. Everyone's working hard. We've had 3 really, really good days.
The veterans' dedication isn't limited to protecting Indiana's rising star. In training camp interviews, Cunningham spoke about building a culture rooted in trust and unity. "It's important that we know and love each other off the court," she said, "because that naturally leads to chemistry and the drive to fight for one another on the court. That mindset points to something bigger than defense. It's a blueprint for culture." Cunningham isn't just shielding Clark. She's helping create an environment where every player feels safe, valued, and ready to go to battle together.
You know, I don't even want to sound like this, but it's been easy. It's been easy because you have really, really great people here that want to be a part of something special. And so they're not only phenomenal athletes, but they're phenomenal people. They're out in the community. They do what's right. I don't know, we're just good stewards. And so when you're around those types of people, it's refreshing. And when I say this, I'm truly happy to be here because it hasn't been like this for my career in a really long time.
When reporters asked her directly about the rough treatment Clark faced during her rookie year, Cunningham didn't hold back. "That's not basketball," she said flatly. "That's not going to happen on my watch." Her words were sharp, clear, and impossible to misread. With that one statement, she drew a line in the sand. The era of targeting the Fever's franchise player with unchecked physicality was done.
Anytime you play with the GOAT of our team, or the GOAT of our game, you're going to learn a lot. You know, you have to be ready for the ball, head on a swivel at all times. And the way that she throws the ball is a lot how DT threw it. I think this is just the younger version of her, so she has a little bit more energy, a little bit more spunk. I miss DT in her prime, but doesn't mean she wasn't great when I played with her. But honestly, at the end of the day, everybody can shoot, right? If you're cutting and you're open, you're going to get the ball. And so you just have to be ready for that. And I'm excited for that. And I think you'll see 1 through 5 is interchangeable.
And Cunningham's time playing beside legends like Diana Taurasi and Brittany Griner gave her a front row seat to life under the microscope. "I understand what it's like to have every move scrutinized," she shared during camp, highlighting her focus on blocking out distractions and guarding the team's mental space. That kind of veteran perspective is already paying off for a young roster navigating the pressures of the spotlight. Her experience isn't just guidance, it's armor.
I'm so grateful and blessed to have my time out in Phoenix. I met a lot of cool people. I had a lot of great teammates. I learned a lot, had a lot of great times, but just a new era for me, right? A new system, a new type of energy, and so of course I'm excited for it. I'm happy to be close to my family. I'm excited to have my teammates, so I'm starting to even get close with now, and I think we're going to be lots of friends, and so I don't know, it's a new vibe, and I'm happy.
What makes her presence so powerful isn't just her willingness to protect. It's how seamlessly her skills elevate the entire offense. With that lethal three-point shot, defenders can't sag off her, which means more room for Clark to create. It's a double-edged sword. Go after Clark, and you'll pay with buckets from Cunningham. Ignore Cunningham, and she'll light you up from deep. But beyond the sharp shooting lies something even more critical to Clark's success: a basketball mind that sees danger coming before it strikes. While fans are buzzing about their scoring chemistry, the coaching staff is watching a defensive partnership quietly take shape. We're only on day 3 of Indiana Fever training camp, and Sophie Cunningham is already stealing the show.
The veteran point guard, he's coming in this week. Without her in free agency, this is a perfect opportunity now for Bailey Champlin as young point guard.
The 2025 WNBA draft was meant to be a night of celebration, a spotlight moment where rising stars took their place in the league's future. But instead of a smooth coronation of new talent, the night veered into chaos. Hailey Van Lith, a fiery and confident guard fresh off a strong college run, didn't just show up. She made an entrance and then took a stunning swipe at Caitlin Clark, the reigning face of women's basketball. What followed wasn't just drama, it was a full-blown spectacle that stunned fans, analysts, and players alike. And the wildest part, it wasn't just a bold statement, it was a careering misstep that humbled Van Lith before she ever stepped on a WNBA court. Imagine being at the Shed in Hudson Yards, New York City, buzzing with excitement. The 2025 draft was a big deal. Riding the wave of a record-breaking year for the WNBA, Caitlin Clark, the Indiana Fever superstar, had transformed the league in her rookie season, drawing massive crowds, spiking TV ratings, and landing lucrative broadcast deals. Her long-range shooting and playmaking had fans comparing her to NBA legends, and her impact was undeniable. The draft, featuring names like Paige Buchers and Van Lith, was poised to build on that momentum. But what happens next will leave you speechless. Van Lith, drafted 11th overall by the Chicago Sky, had a story that resonated with many. She'd fought her way through a nomadic college career, playing at Louisville, LSU, and TCU. Known for her grit and relentless energy, she was a player who thrived on proving doubters wrong. Her reunion with Angel Reese, her former LSU teammate, was a draft highlight, promising a dynamic duo in Chicago. But Van Lith wasn't content to just soak in the moment. She had a score to settle, rooted in a college rivalry with Clark that dated back to 2023. In that NCAA Elite 8 game, Clark torched LSU for 41 points, leaving Van Lith and her teammates in the dust. The image of Clark's "you can't see me" gesture became a viral taunt, and Van Lith hadn't forgotten. And this is where things go completely off the rails. During a pre-draft segment, Van Lith was thrown a playful question: start, bench, or cut 3 WNBA stars, Diana Taurasi, Sabrina Ionescu, and Caitlin Clark. It was meant to be a fun icebreaker, but Van Lith saw an opportunity. With cameras rolling and the crowd hanging on her every word, she chose to start Taurasi, bench Ionescu, and cut Clark. The arena fell silent for a split second before erupting in murmurs. Social media lit up like a wildfire. Fans couldn't believe she'd gone after the league's biggest star so brazenly. But here's what they're not telling you: Van Lith wasn't done yet. In her post-selection interview, Van Lith doubled down. She didn't mention Clark by name, but her words cut deep. She talked about grinding her way to the pros, implying some players had been handed fame on a silver platter. The jab was clear. Clark, the media darling, was her target. It was a bold move, one that screamed confidence but reeked of miscalculation. Van Lith thought she was crafting an underdog narrative, but she just poked the bear, and you'll never guess how it ends. The backlash was immediate and relentless, with fans tearing into Van Lith's comments as bitter and unnecessary. They flooded the internet with stats comparing her college career to Clark's. Van Lith's numbers were solid, nearly 20 points a game at Louisville, 18 at TCU. But Clark's were otherworldly. She'd rewritten the NCAA record books, becoming the all-time leading scorer while leading Iowa to back-to-back national championship games. Her stat lines looked like they belonged in a video game, and her impact went beyond the court, selling out arenas and boosting the WNBA's profile. And just when you thought it couldn't get worse, the WNBA community piled on. ESPN analysts were floored. One called Van Lith's comments envy dressed up as confidence. Another pointed out the irony. Clark's rise had made the 2025 draft the second most watched in WNBA history. With 1.25 million viewers tuning in, by shading the player who'd put the league on the map, Van Lith wasn't just starting a rivalry, she was alienating the very fans and players she'd need to succeed. Even current WNBA stars took notice, with some quietly unfollowing Van Lith on social media. The message was clear: you don't come for the queen unless you're ready to back it up. But what happens next is truly insane. The real gut punch came from Clark herself, though not in the way you'd expect. While Van Lith's words were dissected online, Clark stayed silent. No tweets, no interviews, no petty clapbacks. Instead, she let a single moment speak for her. A cold, knowing smile caught on camera as Van Lith threw her shade. It was the same look Clark had worn in college when opponents tried to get under her skin, right before she buried them with a deep three. Days later, she was spotted at a youth basketball camp, coaching kids and signing jerseys for hours. The contrast was stark. Van Lith was chasing clout while Clark was building a legacy. And here's where everything changes. Just weeks after the draft, Clark made headlines by stepping onto the court during a Pacers game to toss out merch, stealing the spotlight in the process. No other rookie had ever drawn this much attention. In a preseason matchup, she reminded everyone why she's the league's biggest attraction, dropping 28 points, handing out 8 assists, and pulling down 5 rebounds. She hit deep threes and ran the offense like a veteran. Meanwhile, the cameras caught Van Lith still in warm-ups, waiting for her moment. Social media erupted, flooding timelines with memes of Clark cooking while Van Lith looked on from the bench. The numbers told the story. Clark's rookie season was historic, with records for most points by a rookie guard, most assists by a rookie, and the first ever rookie triple-doubles in WNBA history. She was named Player of the Month and Rookie of the Month in the same month, a first in league history. Van Lith, meanwhile, had yet to log a single professional minute. Stick around because this next part is huge. The WNBA community didn't hold back. An anonymous player reportedly said, "You earn your place with buckets, not by running your mouth on draft night." A veteran praised Clark for bringing more money and exposure to the league, urging Van Lith to show some respect. League executives knew Clark's value better than anyone. Ticket sales had skyrocketed over 300% since her draft declaration, and her merchandise accounted for nearly half of all league sales. New broadcast deals with ESPN and Amazon, quadrupling primetime exposure, were tied directly to her star power. Clark wasn't just a player, she was a one-woman economic engine. And if you think that's bad, just wait, because Van Lith's troubles were just beginning. Behind the scenes, the fallout was brutal. Reports emerged that multiple teams had passed on drafting Van Lith, wary of her attitude and potential to disrupt locker room chemistry. One scout, speaking anonymously, said she was talented but no Caitlin, and teams didn't want drama over production. The Chicago Sky took a chance on her, banking on her connection with Reese to smooth things over. But even that came with pressure. Reese had navigated her own rivalry with Clark, learning to share the spotlight. Van Lith, it seemed, was still chasing it. And the final twist? It's something no one expected. The WNBA season opener pits the Sky against Clark's Fever, and it's already the most anticipated game of the year. For Van Lith, it's a chance to prove her words weren't empty. But the pressure is crushing. Every missed shot, every turnover, every moment she's on the court will be compared to Clark's performance. Fans are already hyping Clark to drop another 40, with memes predicting a humbling for Van Lith. Her draft night comments didn't just start a feud, They set an impossible standard for a rookie yet to prove herself. And by the end of this, you'll understand why this is so important. Clark, meanwhile, remains unfazed. She's not here for the drama or the headlines. She's in the gym, as shown by her going 50 for 54 from 3 on her birthday. Her focus is on championships, not sound bites. Her rookie season set records, fastest to 100 three-pointers, most assists in an all-star game, and countless franchise milestones. She's not just a star, she's the league's future. With teams reshaping marketing plans and cities bracing for sold-out games when she's in town, Van Lith's jab may have earned her a few retweets, but Clark is earning respect. One jumper, one pass, one packed arena at a time. For Van Lith, the road ahead is steep. She didn't just pick a fight, she picked the wrong one. The WNBA isn't college, where rivalries can thrive on trash talk alone. This is a league finally gaining traction thanks to Clark's hard work and humility. By trying to tear her down, Van Lith misread the room and painted herself as the antagonist before earning the right to be a rival. Every game she plays will be a referendum on her draft night words, with fans and analysts ready to pounce on every misstep. You'll want to see this through to the end. Trust me. As the dust settles, one thing is clear. Caitlin Clark doesn't need to respond with words. Her game speaks louder than any interview could. Van Lith, on the other hand, has a lot to prove. When the Sky and Fever face off in May, the scoreboard will tell the real story. And that's where everything clicked into place. Because in the WNBA, talk is cheap, and Clark is already cashing checks with every bucket. Is the Van Lith Angel Reese matchup a threat to Caitlin Clark's Indiana Fever? Let us know what you think in the comments section below.
Actually, a workout video with Brianna Turner and Caitlin Clark. Now, this is the first video where we've seen two players working out together from this team, so I want to live react to it with you guys. So obviously Coach KP is there. I feel like he never leaves the gym. You have Caitlin coming across the screen for a 3. It looks like with all of these, they're working on a screen and roll with Brianna.
Just when it seemed like the WNBA drama had settled down, chaos returned with a vengeance. And who's at the center of it all? You guessed it, Angel Reese. Her former teammate, Brianna Turner, was recently seen working alongside none other than Caitlin Clark in Indiana. And let's just say, Angel isn't exactly cheering from the sidelines. The internet went wild, and honestly, this storyline has it all. Petty feuds, unresolved grudges, and enough jealousy to fuel a reality TV show for seasons. Brianna Turner has officially separated herself from the drama and ego surrounding Angel Reese, and she's doing it with finesse by teaming up with Caitlin Clark. Let's be honest, it's like leaving a chaotic house party and stepping into a peaceful luxury spa. The difference in energy is clear. Suddenly, Turner is thriving. Who would have thought? Choosing professionalism and skill over the noise and distractions seems to be the winning move.
So, lads, it's looking like the Indiana Fever have signed a perfect player to have beside Caitlin Clark, Aaliyah Boston, Kelsey Mitchell, Dwana Bonner, Tasha Howard, Sophie Cunningham, Lexi Hall. Who else? Sydney Colston still on this team, Damaris Dantas, and whoever they draft in the second round.
Now, picture Angel Reese likely scrolling through Instagram, jaw tight with frustration, as she watches her former teammate cozy up with the very player she's been throwing passive-aggressive jabs at since their college days. If jealousy were a sport, Reese would be in the running for gold. She always saw herself as the main character, the face of the league. Yet here's Turner, choosing Caitlin Clark over the Bayou Barbie swagger.
And of course you have Caitlin. She had such a phenomenal rookie season, so many great accolades. And I think the jumping from season 1 to season 2, players can also make a really big jump. So I'm excited to see her growth from year 1 and year 2. And she hasn't reached her ceiling yet either, so I'm really excited to watch her growth as well.
Let's be real. Reese probably thought Brianna would stay loyal, supporting her drama, lingering in her shadow, and feeding into her narrative. But instead, Turner hopped on the first train to Indiana, where the vibe is positive, the chemistry is strong, and the focus is purely on basketball, not side eyes and social media beefs. It's almost like some people actually care about winning, not just trending. Watching Caitlin and Brianna hit the gym together wasn't just heartwarming, it was telling. It highlighted who's focused on the game and who's focused on the drama. Their workout was smooth, intense, and team-oriented. You could feel the chemistry. Meanwhile, Angel's recent performances have felt more like a monologue no one asked for, filled with dramatic pauses, exaggerated reactions, and very little substance.
Angel Reese, 3-on-3. Let's get it! Hey, we back like we never left. Angel Reese in the post. Gotta work number 5. Shake and bake. Earthquake. Bang! Hey, Angel, you had all off season to get in the lab, fix your lamps, but what did you do? More podcasting. Layup.
And let's not overlook the blow to Angel Reese's public image. The player who once proclaimed herself the face of women's basketball is now left on the sidelines, watching as her teammates join forces with the true game changer. Caitlin Clark is out there building connections, forging alliances, and elevating her team. And now, Turner's right there with her. Meanwhile, Reese is stuck with the same tired antics and a shrinking circle of support. You just know Reese saw that footage of Turner and Clark and immediately went into damage control mode, probably typing a cryptic tweet like, "Loyalty hits different," or preparing a carefully curated photo dump with dramatic lighting to stir up attention. But let's be real, we all saw what went down, and so did the rest of the league.
How are you feeling about being in Indiana and joining the team?
I'm really excited. I followed a lot of these players throughout their college careers and professional careers, so it's kind of like full circle moment to be on the same team with a lot of these players again.
Tell me what it was like that, what went into your decision to come here and join what's being built here at the Fever?
I think that the front office and the staff just really had a vision in place, and I felt that I could really complement their vision.
Reese's ego might be hurt, but Brianna Turner's career just got a fresh boost, and all it took was stepping away from the drama and linking up with someone focused on elevating the game. That move says a lot. Angel may still have her supporters, but she's learning the hard way that clout fades, while teamwork endures.
Mashed potatoes! Brr! Thought we were gonna leave the hop skippity doo 3000 in 2024. Jumping off 1 foot, landing on that same foot. Then we're stat padding. Still, I thought we were past this, Angel. Bang!
Rebounder in WNBA history. Look at this. Elite rebound. Look at that vertical. Look at the outlet pass.
No, Angel! No! Why, Angel? Why? Not the kick out 3! Butter pecan! Burn!
If you throw it out of bounds, you hate puppies.
What? She a playmaker. She's a point queen. Point queen. She making plays for the other team. Bang! Caitlin Clark's not the only one that can make cool passes. I can do it. Me too.
Maybe, just maybe, Angel Reese should try something revolutionary for once. It's called humility. Shocking, right? Imagine prioritizing your team instead of turning every game into a personal highlight reel. Picture Reese sharing the spotlight rather than hoarding it like her legacy depends on it, and playing the game as a teammate, not a solo act with a chip on her shoulder. But of course, that would require a complete rebrand from her current role as the queen of ego and unnecessary theatrics. So, while Reese continues rehearsing her next emotional press conference or planning her next media stunt, let's raise a glass to Brianna Turner and Caitlin Clark, two players who truly understand the value of teamwork.
Talk about you on the court. Like, what sort of attributes do you think you're going to bring, and where will you, add to the Fever from last year to this year?
Yeah, I think I'm really just like a calming presence. I feel like I never get too high or get too low. People are like, why don't you smile more? Why don't you get excited? I'm like, I'm just chilling. I'm vibing. Like, I feel like I'm really an observer, but I am really competitive as well. I like to run the floor, like to play defense, like to win, and I think the Fever was a place to be if I wanted to win.
Just when we thought the WNBA offseason had given us all the drama it could muster, Brianna Turner swooped in with the ultimate plot twist. Remember when, not too long ago, Turner was throwing those subtle jabs at Caitlin Clark online? Oh, we all remember. The tension was palpable. But now, fast forward to today, and you'd swear they've been best friends for life. The way they're smiling in training photos, seamlessly vibing together on the court, It's as if they've been a dynamic duo from the start. It's giving frenemies to finals energy, and the internet, well, they're absolutely eating it up. Meanwhile, poor Angel Reese is left standing awkwardly in the background, like the third wheel nobody invited to the party. It's a sad sight, really. Her presence barely felt while everyone else moves forward, building alliances, making plays, and embracing the future. Talk about being left behind. The tables have turned, and it's playing out in front of us, drama and all.
Please welcome to the show, Caitlin Clark. Caitlin, did you ever
What's
think
up,
you'd
guys?
be back? Cheers.
Excited to be
Cheers.
back. Don't worry. I got this nice throwback Gatorade can.
Well played.
Caitlin Clark just surprised everyone in a way no one expected, doing it live on Zoom during an unfiltered interview with WNBA icons Sue Bird and Diana Taurasi. From the moment she appeared on screen, it was obvious this wouldn't be your usual heartwarming segment. It was unvarnished, authentic, and gave a behind-the-scenes look at everything from her transition to the WNBA, to locker room gossip, to the intense rivalries in those tough college games. And, of course, it all came with Caitlin's trademark wit and charisma.
Product placement.
There we
Will
go.
Our show loves it. Our show loves it.
So, what exactly did Caitlin Clark spill, and why is the basketball world buzzing? Stick around, because Caitlin didn't hold back on a lot of juicy details. Everything from Paige Beckers to Diana Taurasi, and even calling out the unfounded rumors Cheryl Swoops has been spreading about the team. Ready for it? Let's dive in. It was the moment that shook the internet. 1 year ago, Diana Taurasi stared into the camera and delivered a now iconic warning to Caitlin Clark. Reality is coming. Remember that?
What will the league have in store for them when they get there?
Look, SVP, reality is coming.
Okay.
There's levels to this thing, and that's just life. We all went through it.
Of course.
And you see it on the NBA side, and you're gonna see it on this side, where you look superhuman playing against 18-year-olds, but you're gonna come with some grown women that've been playing professional basketball for a long time.
Fast forward to this year, and let's just say Diana's words didn't quite hold up. Caitlin's response? A sly smirk, a slight nod, and a confident smile. The vibe was electric, sharp, playful, and full of wit. But don't be fooled, it was also a statement.
Congrats on your retirement, D.
Thank you.
And congrats
now,
you.
Unfortunately,
Well,
reality
thanks.
is coming to me now.
What's your big plans?
Get in early.
What are you going to do?
I keep telling Sue I thought I was going to have all this time to do all these things. I'm more busy now. So if I give you any advice, play as long as possible.
We'll see. We'll get to 10 years. Then we'll think about it.
It's 10 years.
For Diana Taurasi, sharing the court with Caitlin Clark wasn't just another game, it was a moment for the ages. Looking back on their first matchup in Phoenix, Taurasi didn't mince words about the atmosphere. It felt like the last game that was ever going to be played. The crowd was electric, the hype was real, and it wasn't just about basketball. It was about seeing a torch being passed right before our eyes, she shared. Diana spoke with deep respect, reflecting on how surreal it was to finally face the players she'd been watching dominate college basketball for years.
What was it like for you two to play against each other?
It was amazing. I've been following Caitlin for so long and been watching her college career just in awe. And to be on the court and, the first game was in Phoenix, and it felt like the last game that was ever going to be played. There was such anticipation. The crowd was going crazy. All the people that came out to see Caitlin and our teams play against each other. It really was an amazing moment. And you talked about how, if you could play against anyone that is this new generation. So I got to cross paths with Caitlin, at least for a couple games. And to me, that meant a lot,
Caitlin's perspective? Just as classy, but with her signature edge. She remembered that Phoenix game too. Except for her, it was personal. We were down by like 10 or 15 and came all the way back to win, she recalled, pride clear in her voice. That comeback wasn't just another line on the scoreboard, it was a defining moment for her and her team. Battling against a legend like Taurasi and coming out victorious? That's the kind of experience that builds confidence. And Caitlin made sure everyone knew it.
And what it was like to play against D.
Well, I was saying, that game in Phoenix, because we only played in Phoenix one time. And it was before Olympic break. Obviously we had All-Star there too, but it was a great game. Honestly, I'm pretty sure we were down like 10 or 15 and came all the way back and won. That was like our first like win versus a team that was above 500. So thank you. I appreciate that.
Beneath all the fierce competition, there was a deep mutual respect. The moment transcended being just another game. It became a clash of eras, unfolding right before our eyes. While Caitlin and Diana might be at different points in their careers, the impact they're both having, that's something that will last forever. As they laughed and joked about the experience, it was clear. This wasn't just playful banter, it was basketball's past and future coming together in perfect harmony.
Caitlin, how excited are you for this next WNBA season? New head coach and Stephanie White. You added Natasha Howard, who Sue knows really well, DeWanna Bonner, which I know really well, Sophie Cunningham. I mean, it seems like, you know, from the outside, this roster's ready to compete now, which is easy for us to say. We know there's a process to get there, but like when you see that and you see those names come in, what does that make you feel like?
Caitlin Clark is heading into the new WNBA season with more than just momentum. She's bringing the heat. When talking about her revamped roster, her excitement was impossible to miss. With new head coach Stephanie White, seasoned veterans like Natasha Howard and DeWanna Bonner, sharpshooters like Sophie Cunningham, and defensive powerhouses like Sydney Colson and Brianna Turner, Caitlin knows the talent on her team. But she's also aware of the challenges ahead. With 7 new players and a tight timeline to build chemistry, Caitlin's already in full figure-it-out mode, and she's ready to tackle it head-on.
Oh, well, I mean, obviously on paper we have a really good team, but, you know, you only have, I mean, we start training camp, I think, on the 27th, and then, like, we have a back-to-back of preseason games on May 3rd and May 4th. So it's like, you have a very short amount of time to put that together, and 7 new pieces, and whether we carry 11 or 12, like, more than half of our roster, like, that's, you know, that's a hard thing within itself, but we should be pretty good. And like, I'm excited about it. I think what we needed was, you know, we added a lot more experience. Like in the playoffs, we just didn't have that. We were a young group.
And it's not just her mental game that's been getting stronger, her physical game has leveled up too. When asked about that viral off-season photo where her arms looked noticeably more defined, Caitlin couldn't help but laugh.
And there was the viral picture that went around showing off your guns. Everyone's wondering, have you been hitting the weight room? Was it the camera angle? What happened?
Like,
how did you do that? I've been trying to do that for 20 years.
AI is getting out of control. Come on.
Caitlin Clark wasn't just hitting the weight room to look good in a photo. She was preparing to become an even more dominant force on the court. Every hour spent in the gym was about strengthening her body to match her fierce mentality. It wasn't just about bulking up. It was about becoming more powerful, more relentless, and untouchable when the game was on the line. But Caitlin didn't stop at physical strength. She refined her entire skill set. She focused on adding a floater to her arsenal, powering through contact at the rim, and mastering the mid-range game. This wasn't casual training. It was a deliberate plan to evolve into an unguardable offensive weapon. Caitlin isn't just preparing to keep up with the competition, she's training to take over. Every move, every shot, was with the intention of dominating in ways we've never seen before.
We got Caitlin, we got Paige, we got Juju. Who do you think will shine the brightest?
Well, that's exactly why I'm not picking Caitlin Clark.
Matt, that girl Juju, she is the real deal. Juju Watkins ain't the same as Caitlin Clark. Playing in Los Angeles at USC is not the same as playing at Iowa. Well, Caitlin Clark was in Iowa, in the middle of nowhere. So she built a huge following right there in the state of Iowa, her home state.
The mainstream sports media tried to whip up a rivalry, but the numbers tell a whole different story. Caitlin Clark isn't just outplaying Juju Watkins, she's dominating on a whole other level. It's like they're not even in the same universe. The stats don't lie, and Clark is lighting it up like no one else in the game. This isn't just competition, it's a one-woman show.
ESPN exposed again. Ratings down 22%, attendance down 30%. No Caitlin Clark effect, no dice.
And Juju is a bigger baller than Caitlin Clark.
They will regret that they took Caitlin Clark #1.
It's not racism that's keeping everybody in Los Angeles away from Juju Watkins basketball games. You have to dominate at home.
Caitlin is a supernova, and Juju probably is a better player.
Support Juju the way y'all supported Caitlin Clark. If you don't, you're racist. It's not fair.
While Caitlin Clark is shattering attendance records and drawing millions of eyes every time she steps onto the court, Juju Watkins is still fighting to capture that same kind of attention. The gap between the two isn't just wide, it's astronomical. Clark isn't just another player, she's a magnet for fans, a phenomenon that has taken the sports world by storm. Every game feels like an event, with crowds packed to the rafters and TV ratings hitting new heights every time she plays. Meanwhile, Watkins, though undeniably talented, still finds herself struggling to ignite that same kind of buzz. It's not for lack of skill, but rather the sheer gravitational pull Clark has on the basketball world. The level of excitement Clark generates is almost otherworldly, while Watkins is still building her momentum. The difference isn't just about stats or plays, it's the force with which Clark has taken over the spotlight. She's rewriting what it means to be a star in this sport, and the gap between her and Watkins is so massive, it's hard to even comprehend. This isn't just a rivalry, it's a showcase of dominance that's truly out of this world.
Needle mover in women's basketball, college or pro, is Caitlin Clark.
Despite the constant barrage of media hype pushing the narrative that Watkins is the next big sensation, there are some glaring contradictions that can't be ignored. If she truly is the future of the sport, then why is it that her games are still consistently half empty? Why is it that television ratings plummet dramatically whenever Clark is not on the court? These are not small, insignificant details. They are clear signs that demand an explanation. The truth about the situation is practically screaming at us. And it is evident in the vast emptiness of those stands and the sharp decline in viewer interest. It's a stark contrast to the glorified image the media keeps presenting.
Yo, man, we should be talking about her the way we talked about Caitlin Clark last year.
Juju gets covered all the time. I cover Juju. I talk about Juju. It's great for the game. The idea that Juju and Paige have not been covered is just false.
Let's be blunt about this. Juju Watkins is not Caitlin Clark. Not now, not ever. And the numbers make that abundantly clear. There's no need to sugarcoat the reality. Watkins simply doesn't measure up to Clark's level of impact, both on and off the court. The statistics don't lie, and they tell a very different story from the one the media keeps pushing.
ESPN notes that the viewership for the first round was up 43% from 2023, with an average of 257,000 people watching the first 2 days, but it leaves out the record-breaking viewership from last year, where viewership averaged 469,000 in the 2024 first round. That number was boosted by a whopping 3.2 million tuning into Caitlin Clark and Iowa's 91-65 win over Holy Cross. The difference between this year and last year represents a nearly 22% drop. ESPN is literally scared. They can't stand Caitlin Clark.
Caitlin Clark isn't just a standout rookie, she's a cultural force. Her impact goes far beyond the game itself. She's single-handedly driven a massive surge in WNBA ticket sales, shattered broadcast viewership records, and forced major sports networks to completely rethink their approach to covering women's basketball. Clark has redefined what it means to be a star in this sport, and her influence is felt across the entire landscape of women's athletics.
Caitlin Clark is the GOAT!
She signed my jersey! So happy, I'm crying. I'm so happy. This is the best day ever.
Caitlin Clark effect seems to be crazier than year one.
I love watching her score and just everything about her.
They went the extra mile just to watch her play here.
This is great news for women's basketball, period.
She just brings so much passion to the game, and look at all these people that just want to come and see her.
On the other hand, Watkins' momentum feels almost entirely manufactured by the media. The hype around her is being built in press rooms, not fueled by genuine fan enthusiasm or solid numbers. Just take a look at the attendance. Caitlin Clark's games are selling out, with fans crowding every inch of the arena. Scalpers are asking thousands for her tickets, a phenomenon we've never seen before in women's basketball. That kind of demand speaks volumes, and it highlights just how starkly different the realities are between these two players.
Women's March Madness attendance drops 30%. Attendance for the opening rounds of the Women's March Madness dropped from record numbers seen the previous 2 years when Caitlin Clark spiked interest in the tournament while leading Iowa to consecutive Final Fours. What the hell happened to 2024? Where's those numbers? Why are you not talking about it? We know why, because they don't want to come out and just admit the ratings are real down without Caitlin Clark.
Now, compare that to Watkins' games. Rows of empty seats, a noticeable lack of energy. There's a clear disconnect between the hype and the actual reality. Caitlin Clark's WNBA debut, on the other hand, drew over 17,000 fans, setting a new franchise record for the Indiana Fever, and that was just for a regular season game. Even her preseason appearances far exceeded expectations, with crowds turning out in impressive numbers. The stark difference in fan engagement tells the whole story.
If I was the WNBA, I would have considered a separate television package to a network on just Caitlin Clark games. I would have had two packages, the WNBA package, and then a separate, let's say, 15 to 18 game Caitlin Clark package.
Where's that same level of excitement for Juju Watkins? It's nowhere to be found. Her games simply don't stir up the same kind of buzz or enthusiasm. The energy just isn't there, and it's hard to ignore that stark contrast.
And Juju is a bigger baller than Caitlin Clark. I said it.
I said it. Yeah.
I said it. And it has nothing to do with black and the white. The statistics say what everybody needs to be knowing. Juju is a better athlete than Caitlin Clark.
Show us the stats that you're referencing. I mean, come on.
Let's switch focus to television viewership. Caitlin Clark's NCAA championship game drew an astounding 18.7 million viewers, setting a new record as the most watched women's basketball game in history. The numbers speak for themselves. Clark has captured the attention of millions, far surpassing anything seen before in the sport.
Whether you like the Indiana Fever or not, whether you like Caitlin Clark or not, it has gotten to the point where we can no longer deny the fact that they are the biggest draw in the WNBA, and they proved that all of last season.
She regularly outperforms NBA games in viewership, which is almost unheard of. Caitlin Clark has truly transcended the sport. She's not just a basketball player anymore. She's become a mainstream celebrity and a sports icon, captivating audiences far beyond the basketball world.
The league wasn't ready for her last year. They just weren't prepared. Yeah. She was prepared.
She's had a full offseason now to rest.
No. She's going to be great. The league just didn't know what to do.
And Juju? She's not even in the same conversation. Her games haven't attracted record-breaking viewership or sparked national discussions. There's no viral buzz, no mainstream crossover, and no significant pull beyond the usual circles. The difference in impact is undeniable.
Sold out games after game after game. She had a connection with those people that was special. She carried that connection and that fan base to the WNBA. She dominated. Oh, she's being denied something. That y'all better treat her like Caitlin Clark. So how can we treat her like Caitlin Clark? She's in a different body of water. Stephen A. Smith and Shannon Sharp both played the card of, we should be talking about Juju Watkins the same way we talked about Caitlin Clark.
The media's effort to place Watkins in the same league as Clark is glaringly transparent, and honestly, it feels desperate. If Watkins were truly on Clark's level, we wouldn't need this constant push to market her. The numbers would speak for themselves, but they don't, and that says it all. They're trying to create a rivalry where none exists. The comparison crumbles as soon as you examine the data. Watkins doesn't draw the crowds, doesn't drive the ratings, and isn't the household name the media is trying to make her out to be.
That girl, that young lady y'all got at USC right now, Juju.
Incredible.
Hey, I tell all them bitter, angry girls in the WNBA who are upset about Caitlin Clark, move over more, because Juju is special. Number one, I would give a shout out to Caitlin to what she's did for women basketball the last 3 years, man. It's been incredible. And I wish those women would embrace it. But Matt, that girl Juju, she is the real deal.
She's going to be bigger than Caitlin Clark. And I don't even know if that's possible for what Caitlin Clark has done for women's basketball.
Caitlin Clark is a once-in-a-generation player. She's the kind of athlete who doesn't just play the game, she changes the game. Her presence shifts entire cultures. She commands attention wherever she goes, and most importantly, she elevates everyone around her. Then there's Juju Watkins. Sure, she's talented, no doubt about that, but we've seen players like her before. There's nothing groundbreaking happening here. So if we're going to compare these two, let's do it properly. Let's look at the stats, the skills, and the impact side by side. And when we do, the truth becomes undeniable and painfully clear. Juju Watkins isn't Caitlin Clark, not now, and certainly not ever.